Hey, good doc back again once again. Let's lock in. Shout out to the IPA, International Passport Association and affiliates. Official merch listed in the links below this particular video. Gentlemen, when you go abroad, passport gentlemen specifically, when you go abroad, you set your standards and you do not change those standards or break those standards for anybody. I'm okay with compromise, but once you set your standards, gents, don't break that shit for nobody. You see, the reality here in the United States, and what I've seen with a lot of dating in the United States for those that opt to date, is it's always a struggle, right? It's a tit for tat, a game to play. And these games are not the games that are needed abroad. You're starting to see a little bit more now how, if you think about it back in the day, let me say this. Remember how it used to be girls that were flaking on these dates? It used to be, the games that these women would play. Now you got guys that are flaking on dates with females out here in the United States. Craziest thing. It's a story out of New York I just recently heard. And if we're even choosing to date, they're flaking or they're not really as into it as they once were. Then you got guys like myself who choose to utilize our passport, go abroad, and we just completely nixed dating in the West, period. And if we've chosen to do that, when we go abroad, ladies and gentlemen, we have the right to set our standards. We have the pick of the litter when we go abroad, right? There's usually a debate about who really has the power. Is it the local young ladies there or the guys? But in reality, if you think about it, we have the pick of the litter. That means that at any given moment in time, if it ain't working out, we could find somebody else that would probably be willing to get on page and on board with what we're looking for. Okay, it's just the way that it is. And when you have that ability or when you have that plethora of opportunity in front of you, you have to be able to set a standard. You have to be able to check boxes for yourself. Like, look, this is what I'm looking for. I'm not asking for your standards to be so far-fetched that no girl could possibly live up to them. But now you have the right to at least list down what it is that you actually want in a female and find something that fits that mold. Are you going to get it all? Probably not. But are you going to probably get the majority of the things that you asked for? Likely so. But at the end of the day, you come up with your list, you set your standards, you don't break them. When I say compromise, I mean every now and again, if something ain't hitting right on the spot, you can get rid of it if that's not what you want because it just didn't work out. But if it's just like a slip up, but she seems to check all of your major points, you can see where it could go. That's what I mean by compromise. When we talked about compromising in the United States, it seemed that a lot of guys were basically saying, well, you know what, at least, I got a girl. That seemed to be what the compromise was in the United States. But what I don't want guys to do is when you go abroad, one thing that I don't want you to do is ignore the red flags, right? They're always there, and you know what they are. If you need me to go through a list of red flags, we can do this all day long, but I think you guys pretty much have an idea of what these red flags are. But what I don't want you to do is say this shit, because a lot of guys have been saying this before that I've heard, and I don't like it, because all of a sudden you're now pretty much fucking up the passport brethren, blue book gentleman rule of thumb. Do not say to me, or do not say anything about, well, at least she's not like the women in the United States. As in, that is your justification and or excuse for why you're allowing certain types of behavior to slide. Because she's not a young lady from the United States. She's not a young lady from the West. So, because of that, she can get away with certain small nitpicky attitudes or little snickery marks or whatever it may be. Something that may resemble a young lady from the West, but because she looks like a young lady abroad, a nice little foreign young lady, little sweet thing, you let it slide. Because guys will do that. And I don't like that shit, but it's true. So don't allow yourself or your standards to break or your compromises to be to the point where you're allowing yourself to get ran over like you probably would dealing with women in the West. Or you're having to go tit for tat, play a game with, and figure this out like it's a chess match for about 3 or 4 days, 10 days or so to figure out if this relationship is even worth trying to pursue in the end. Because you don't have to waste that much time trying to figure out if a young lady is it for you. A lot of guys find it hard to believe that it don't take a week or 10 days or a whole fucking month to realize that this is somebody you actually want to try to pursue a relationship with. Something like here in the West that a lot of guys are dealing with. Sometimes you can figure it out the same day. Sometimes it may take a little 24-hour period, text a little bit, see what she's doing, see how the vibe is, see how her responses are to your text. Usually the shit that you normally look for when you're trying to see if a young lady's into you Do that shit and you can figure it out. Yo, let's go grab some coffee. You want to know why? Because bitches ain't going to complain about a coffee date, especially in the Philippines. Let's go grab a bite to eat. Let's go to McDonald's. In the Philippines, what's popular is Jollibee, right? Let's go to a place and just get to know each other, eat, have coffee or whatever it is. And it's a relatively cheap date. And you're not going to get chastised by a young lady because you choose to go to a cheap place to eat, right? You see the ability and advantages that you have as a foreigner man abroad. Utilize it to the best of your abilities. Do not compromise on your standards. Hold that shit to the highest, because if she don't fit the mold, ladies and gentlemen, there is always somebody else. You don't have to settle. One thing I'm going to tell you, you do not have to settle. So don't. This has been a good dog, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you pick up what I'm putting down. If you did, you already know what to do. You want to support, you already know what to do. Appreciate you locking in. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed. Doc is out. Peace.